Okay, I meant to include the bottom of the page in that last video, but the batteries ran out. So good timing on that, because we'll just create this little snippet to look at the bottom of page 4 in 10.3. And on page 618 of the book, there's a little chart. Now, remember, the quadratic formula works for, the quadratic formula works for everything. But in case you want to be more efficient, and time is of the essence when you're in a test, or you want to have a backup method so you can check your own work, this describes what the situations would look like and then what the most efficient solution method is, and then it walks you through an example. You'll need to look close at your notes. I don't know if you'll be able to zoom in here on the video, but this is also on page 618. You can follow along. So if the equation can be factored easily, you want to factor and use the zero product principle. And they give an example here. If there's no x term, the b value equals 0, it'd be easy to solve for the x squared piece, just the single x squared, and then take the plus or minus square root of both sides. We did one of those earlier in this section as an example. If you've got a first degree polynomial, for example, where you've got something squared, a squared piece, not just x squared, but something's already in parentheses squared, equal to a number. To use quadratic, you'd have to FOIL, move things over, rearrange it. So the most efficient way would be to just take it like it is and take the square root of plus or minus square root of both sides and solve from there. It just takes a couple steps. But if it can't be factored, or the factoring is too difficult, or you're not getting anywhere with any of the other methods, the quadratic formula to the rescue. Just fill in your A, B, and C. Remember though, it has to be in standard form to start, where everything's on one side, equal to 0, and then you can pull your A, your B, your C. Make sure you take the signs with. If it's a minus, you take that negative sign, take that negative number in front of that coefficient or that constant. Okay, and then that'll take care of 10.3. There'll be some review and some preview exercises, and then we're skipping over 10.4, and we're getting real close to the end here. We're going to do 10.5, finish up with 10.6. We'll see you there.